My name is Pyotr Yordanov. That's like Harry Piotr, but without any scar or wands. So here's the thing. I was on the Chat with Traders podcast. I listened to that, the one you were on a couple of weeks ago. And it was, well, the first part was incredibly fascinating because I absolutely loved the way you were approaching the process of the market and the review. And essentially, it was very methodic to some extent. And I love the fact that even though you're not a techie, but you want to have some automation in place, while you want to still rely on what you said in the podcast is like what prop trading provide, in the sense that there's this human capital and then there's the machine's capital, and you want to try and play the two together. And I found it to be fascinating because that's what I'm personally doing. And the reason I'm doing this video is because at the end of the podcast, you do mention that you've been trying to find this like needle in the haystack, the form of a technical director or CTO, whatever you want to call it. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, I need to speak with Brannigan. We need to have a conversation. I really don't know what's going to happen, but the reason why I felt this urge of doing it, and I took a moment just to clarify. I wanted to take a little bit of a time to just prepare a couple of things before I just start talking to you, because you said you've been patient, and I'm like, okay, well, if he's patient, then let me try and like not like, be a perfectionist, but let me do things right. And so here's the deal. I have over a decade of experience as a programmer. My strongest skill is web development. But I've since 2017, so it's been over 4 years now. I came across cryptocurrencies and I thought, well, if I'm a programmer, I should be able to just write a bot and be rich, right? Well, you probably have guessed it's not that easy. It's not that it's complicated as much as did not have any experience as a trader. I did not understand the markets. I did not understand the different interfaces. What's the difference between a spot market, a futures market, a crypto market, options, stocks, whatever. I didn't really appreciate that. I didn't understand risk management. I didn't understand different strategies. And I thought, like many probably people in the beginning think that, I need to know everything. It's like looking for the holy grail. It's like, I want to try Elliott waves, but I also want to do RSI and price action and everything together. Um, so after like failing multiple times, just to clarify, during this time I have worked on multiple platforms, building indicators and or strategies depending on the platform and if it allows it or not. So for example, I've built indicators on TradingView, and I've built on CTrader and MetaTrader, MQL4 and MQL5. But with MetaTrader and CTrader, you can write bots. Pro Real Time, for example, I can't write any bots. It's like possible, but it's not quite the same thing. So it's a little bit annoying. But it's possible in CTrader, it's possible in MetaTrader, it's possible in Ninja. That's something that I've been, which is what we're looking at right now, by the way, Ninja Trader. Um, and what else? There's Pro Real Time, there's Quant Tower. Oh, I've even done some algorithmic trading in the form of Python development. So IG does have an interface, which is a Python interface, and Interactive Brokers also. They're not necessarily well documented, and even if they were documented, the problem I was facing is, okay, I built the connection and I can run a couple of like RSI based strategies or moving average crossovers, but I don't know if it works, and if it fails, I don't know why it fails. I didn't have any guidance in the sense of trading, at least at the time. And now I have a much better idea. Like now, what you're seeing, for example, on the chart is you have Aikinashi, you have two moving averages, expansion moving averages, and that's it. I don't believe or feel anything else because a lot of it comes down to price action reading. Like there's an interesting support here. That is actually the start of the open, which is into this level. Very interesting area that seems to be resisting, but we need to break this to the upside and again the support. Then we can say there's an uptrend. Otherwise, we're still in a downtrend because looking at those two moving averages. But that's the minute chart of the MNQ. So yeah, I do have the experience as a trader, of course. As a programmer, I meant, and as a trader, I've been trying to make it. It's been very hard. I've been manually trading for over a year now. I'm currently running a Lilo account. I don't know if it's visible here. Yeah, LL is Lilo Trading, and Lilo is kind of a prop firm, but you pay a subscription to get a demo account, and if you don't blow the account, I have here. This one is blown, and this one is blown. This one I literally blew yesterday. And I did a video in which I went over the blow of the account because that's the third time it happens. It happens because of the same mistakes. Part of it is psychological, like for example, I've been DCAing forever, and part of it is, well, I need automation in place. I need something, and as you know, I think where we can have a conversation, you and I need something that tells me, look, you lost this amount of percentage of the capital, you're done for the day, or you've made this amount of capital, you're done for the day. It needs to block, and it's possible in Ninja. It needs to block, for example, trading. Or one of my strategies is based, or my main strategy is based on the idea that as I start seeing Heikenashis developing, I see this guy, and it makes a higher high, it's a flat ass. Sorry for the expression, I don't know how to call it. I don't know if it has a name. That's a short. And the short has to be trailed 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets trailed all the way, arguably to here. Okay, that's like 12 points. It's beautiful. It's great. But it has to happen manually. If I'm entering a short here, my stop is here. It has to be put. If I don't put a stop, because I have to go every time by myself and say like buy stop market, for example, I'm going to cheat. If I cheat, I'll lose. And if I don't cheat, I can't have any automation because a lot of these things can be automated. Two moving averages above each other with an uptrend. Buy this. Buy this. Buy this. Buy this. Lose. But you would have one on those two. Buy this. Stop here. Buy this. Stop. Stop. Yeah, that's an annoying stop. Stop here. Buy this. Stop here, etc. So, I'm sorry I got a little bit too many details. I'm fascinated about the markets, and I'm also fascinated about software. I haven't really shown any software. Maybe I could show over here. So one of the things I wanted to put in place before I have the call with you is essentially my website, which I built from scratch, and I streamed as I was building the website. The best way of having a portfolio is like, I'm not gonna show you a resume. I'm gonna tell you, watch me. If you like it, great. If you don't, whatever. And so like if you go over the scalping parts, I go over the different tools I build. This is TradingView. Ninja Trader, I speak about different toggles. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite indicators. This is where I have some automation. I can actually show and hide. Like this is candlesticks and this is bars. It shows multiple times. That's a bug. So I have 2 tabs here, whatever. So I have some automation placed to put these guys. A lot of the indicators are automated. Yeah, this is a tool, for example. I built at some point different indicators that would trail based on the Heiken-Ashi, but yeah, so that's my website. You could see I do have a few links about me either trading or reviewing, and they're going to be on my YouTube channel. Because one of the things I'm also excited about doing is essentially building a channel in which I want to live stream how I'm trading. And not because I want to brag. I mean, I'm blowing a account at this level. I'm not bragging. I'm essentially losing. And not because I want to get the attention. Because I want to, especially I don't want to brag about money. I wish trading was not about money because I think money adds a lot of stress, unfortunately. I had to, I picked up a job recently and that helped me just reset my mental from blowing during Corona with my real accounts. And I realized that, when you start thinking about the money, it's like, no, I don't want to lose money. It gets in the way. And I assume you might be familiar with this. Yeah, so this is the channel. Right now I only have videos for how I build the website. I do have unreleased videos if I go there about the trading that I'll be pushing slowly because this is something very new. Like I literally set up this like microphone arm yesterday. Where that's supposed to be for a camera, but yeah, I put it together. So okay, just so to recap, the reason I think it's interesting for us to have conversation is because you mentioned that you're looking for someone who has experience both as a programmer, and I do have a lot of experience in this area, and not only in the trading markets, but in web development. And I had Linux at some point. I had a lot of fun doing that. I even worked in some AI, and I should have started with that. My past was in startups, in which I failed a lot, like 7 times failures, but. It's also a long conversation. I'm happy to go over it and why the failures happened. What did I learn? How did I build a character? And how I had to go over the depression I went through by using meditation. How meditation, mindfulness have helped me into the trading, essentially. You might notice when I review the trades is that I have a lot of self-reflection. I don't bash myself. Oh, what an idiot. How does that help? I ask myself, okay, what did I do wrong? How can I learn? So for example, today, this is the open right here. There's a lot of trade that happened. That was a really beautiful trade, for example. A long here, stopped here. Unfortunately, it was unfortunate. I could have made a little bit more than 1 point. But because I missed this one, I missed 7 points over here, and my level 7 points is a big deal. I don't know how it works when you're managing a fund. I guess it's a little bit different because obviously you need to be filled and the volume you're working with. So maybe a minute chart might not be ideal, or even a tick chart might not be ideal. I'm completely aware of that. But so here's the thing: I do have the technical expertise. I do know a lot about trading. But what I do not have as a trader is, let's call it a mentor slash someone who knows more than me, an expert essentially. I did have one, and unfortunately, I lost him when he committed suicide about a year ago. And so it's been, and I haven't even completed my training, quote unquote. Like, we've been training for me to go from a demo to live account, and I ended up going on a live account by myself, January 2020. So when I blew the account during the Corona crash, I had no one to guide me, and that's very painful. Not having someone to guide me, there's a potential for it developing mental damage and emotional damage. But I'm very grateful that that did not happen, even though there was damage done. So I'm not gonna say it. So this is what I'm bringing to the equation. The reason why I'm very motivated is because, as I said a moment ago, I want to. You actually mentioned it during the podcast. I want to work with smart, intelligent people, and you definitely sounded like someone who knows his shit. And I've been listening to a lot of people and chat with traders, and a lot of them are very interesting, but I never felt aligned. When you say that you take CQG data that you feed into an Excel sheet and then you run some scripts that like filters and screens for you, I'm like, my first reaction was like, why Excel? Like you could just build, it's CQG. They have an API most likely. And you could build a connector, and then you can build a filter, and then yeah, and you can even build a dashboard for it. And that would be a cool interface instead of having an Excel. But okay, and you could and more importantly, you can't automate execution from Excel. So I would imagine, for example, I don't know if it's possible for you right now, if you realize that you have a high risk on your current positions. Do you have a way of someone or something telling you, I'm cutting you because you just over leverage? Um, and I don't know if you could do this with Excel, for example, whereby if there was a program in place, you could just cut losses, or you could automatically set a size depending on how much you feel about how much risk you want to put on the certain position, whether that is something subjective, was there something that the program might identify based on rules that we would have put in advance based on, back testing, based on the hunch, etc. Um, so that's why I like the most. And I happen to be at the time, one of the things I'm keeping track a lot in my journal of different pictures, everything. Like there's a million pictures of the trades I'm taking. Like that's one, for example. And oh my god, it's like yeah, that's how I blew the second account. I just bought somewhere here, probably here. I refused to take a loss, and so I added and 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 added. I had a chance of breaking even here. I did not take it. I got greedy, and so I added and added more and added all the way down, and that's when I got auto liquidated by Rhythmic, essentially. I don't feel necessarily bad about it. Here I was missing a moving average, but essentially this failure to regain the moving average. And essentially this is a beautiful short, but I can't short it because I'm long. And I was refusing to admit my mistakes and switching sides, and so I would blow an account in 20 minutes, 15. And I don't perceive blowing as it being something good or bad. I perceive it that it's a learning opportunity. Fortunately, with stuff like Lido Trading or Top Step Trader, I don't have to lose my real money. So I can put a budget and I can say, okay, I got $300, $400 of budget. This is what 3-4 accounts for 3 months. I blow them all up. I'm done for 3 more months. I go back to demo. I go back to paper. Right? I analyze what's going on. I don't just like gamble it. So yeah, that's about it. So let me just recap one more time. I do have about a decade of experience as a programmer, but also the startup scene. I do know it's been almost 4 to 5 years that I've been in the markets. 2 years really trading. Before that, I was trying to be a quant trader without having any knowledge about it. And so I believe that there's potential for us to collaborate. You've been looking to set up your quant funds, and I think I can help with that. And I am very motivated because, as I said, and I will repeat it, I find you to be very interesting. Your personality is very interesting. Your way of approaching the trading reminds me a lot of how I approach things. Mistakes happen, but what matters is what are you going to do about it? How are you going to learn? How are you going to grow? I like when you spoke about triathlon thing, because now I'm setting my goal for 2020 in calisthenics, and I'm like, I got front lever, that's my goal. Gotta lose weight, gotta do my workouts, and and you were right about saying you can't do this in 2-3 months. It takes time. It needs you gotta give it time to develop. It's like when you have a trade, sometimes it has to just develop and take its time and have its space, etc. And so yeah, so if one last thing, I wanted to make this a video, and I wanted to take the time because I wanted to make it personal. I wanted to make a point that I care, that we do have a call, that we do talk. If something good happens out of it, great. If not, well, sorry about that. Just listening to you was very motivational, and for that, I'm very grateful already. Um, yeah, of course, I would love us to have a call, not just like but hope is not a strategy, and wishing is not a strategy. You just gotta do what you gotta do. If it works, great. If you're unlucky, well, you're unlucky. Next trade in 10 minutes, and we're good to go. Yeah. So that being said, thank you so much again for taking the time of looking at this video. And I'll be sending more detail in an email, but some links for you to see my website, the YouTube channel, etc. And until then, I hope you are safe and you're healthy, and that your loved one also are safe and healthy. And yeah, may the markets be with you.